Alright, so on the F80 chassis, there is an obvious leak and a fault, which I'll show you in a second, from this sensor here. It was reading at 580 psi and it should be a maximum of 508. So what happened was, let me show you guys the O-rings first. Part number for the first one. This is for the expansion valve. Part number for the second one. The green one is the new one. That's the old one. And as you can see, we got some codes. And it's basically the pressure sensor for coolant circuit, this one, and it's causing the compressor to shut down because this was giving it a bad reading. So here's the old one. That we tested with a multimeter. And what you do is you do pin 2, the signal, so you do pin 3 for 5 volts. You check pin 3 for 5 volts. And we had it, but the sensor was giving us a bad reading, which means the sensor was faulty. Then I also found this is the low pressure side, I believe. Or no, this is the high pressure side. And then over here, where is it? There. This is gonna be the low pressure. So I already put the new O-ring in on that one. And this is the new O-ring for the high side. And all you'll do is it's a T30 on a long extension with an extension. And I think it's like 8 Newton meters or 9 Newton meters. So going like this. Oh, there's these hoses right here that clip in here. So just pop this off right there and move them like down so you can get to them. Otherwise you're gonna have to remove this brace right here, and then the cowling, which is just unnecessary. If you have skinny arms, you can get in there. So. Alright, so this thing takes 560 grams, which is 0.56 kilograms. Right here, F83. 550 plus or minus 10. So I always go plus 10, 560. And it's between 500 for F20s, 540 for F30s, 550 for F80s, up to 740 grams for F30 hybrids, and 490, 500 for the new F-Series chassis. So your refrigerant pressure should be right around 130 to 150-ish. Ours was at like 580 before because the sensor wasn't reading correct. So depending on how hot it is, air's nice and cold. We'll hit the AC button. It's gonna be blinking at first because it's thinking it's low on refrigerant. But what you do is you go to trouble codes and then you're going to delete the trouble codes first, and then start the vehicle. And you should be good to go. Put this thing into sport mode, Sport Plus.